Hey there guys, our new anime begins with Dariel. He got kicked out of the demon army by the 4 demon generals named Bashbarza, Zebiance, Basilia, and Doroi. Because despite being a demon, Dariel just can't use magic, but Dariel still holds a mission that was assigned to him by Bashbarza's father. But Bashbarza made it clear that he's dismissed from the Demon King's army. He respected their decision and took his leave, so in this world demons and humans are always at odds, and thing that set them apart is magic. Demons have exceptional blessings of magic while humans are incapable of using magic, and Dariel had served in the demon army from his childhood, but now he has nowhere else to go. So when he was wandering around in the woods, Dariel was starving since he didn't eat any food in days, but then a girl suddenly flew over him in panic because a yeti was chasing her. So Dariel stepped in to save her and blocked its attack, but when he tried to attack back, he got dizzy from starvation and took a clean hit from that yeti. And despite being hit hardly, he still picked up that blade and stabbed that yeti to its death to save that girl. Then after looking at her, Dariel wanted to keep his distance because Malika is a human, but she stopped him from running away because she wants to thank him for saving her life. So she started dragging him to take Dariel to her home. Her home is in the Lux village, and there at her home he met with her parents. So then Malika was curious as to why he was wandering around in the forest. Dariel had to conceal his identity as a demon or else something horrible will happen. So he made up a reason of getting fired from his workplace by a rich brat. Malika was really naive as she believed in his story and bursts out in tears. So she told him to live with them as they have many free room in their house, and her father and mother also supported her decision, and Dariel couldn't say no to those nice and giant racks. So now that Dariel has started living with them, Gilmas wanted him to become an adventurer and register in the guild. But he's a demon and only human could register with this ritual. So he made up that he got a cramp on his back, to back out, yet still, that daughter and father duo took his registration by surprise. But somehow Dariel passed the registration test and got a crest of adventurer, surprisingly, that confirmed that he was a human all along. And his story matches up with this since former demon general Grand Barza had found him and took him in. Then afterwards, Gilmas wanted to show Dariel the ropes of being an adventurer. Gilmas begins with showing him on drawing out the aura, which every human can use to make their weapon powerful, and it's divided into 4 types: slash, sting, hit and protect. So Dariel aced slash type smoothly, then got perfect in sting or a long range attack, then comes hit, which was also overpowered, then comes protect. Gilmas was pissed off that Dariel was blessed with all 3 types, so to test his shield, Gilmas used a 1,000 tons hammer to break through, but instead he got blown away. Dariel was blessed with all types of aura, so Gilmas suggested him to join the Center Guild to make his future bright, but looking at Malika, Dariel remembers how she helped him in his time of need, so he chose to stay in this village, and Malika was relieved that Dariel won't leave. Then Dariel officially becomes adventurer of the village, but Gashita started looking down on Dariel since he's lower in the rank than him. Gilmas told Dariel to pay no attention to him because he gets full of himself because he's the only adventurer village has. So for starters, Gil gave him herb gathering job and warned Dariel about a monster that is wandering around the forest, but coincidentally at the same monster that Dariel had took down to save Malika. So he completed a job even before he became an adventurer, so seeing him getting ahead, Gashita took another monster ant job for his show off, and Dariel took simple herb gathering job. So since Dariel is new around town, Malika tagged along to guide him. Then as they were gathering the herbs, they saw a really cute deer standing there, but a reminder, looks can be deceiving. And this time that deer sniffed out that monster ant and drew out the enslaved spirit of Bruce Lee. That ant was beaten up, so Malika and Dariel took down that deer. They got one-on-one free deals, so villagers were impressed, but Gashita got upset since his job was completed by Dariel again. Then Dariel got used to live a normal life in this village, but then a new emergency came in as a giant serpent was on a loose. And worse is that Gashita saw this and left to kill the serpent. But Gilmas wasn't worried about this because the neighboring town had took the job of killing this serpent since they have C-rank adventurer, but knowing Gashita, it would be troublesome if he's left alone, so Malika gave Dariel some anti-venom before he leaves. Then in the forest Dariel found the track of that serpent, and there he saw Gashita was already running for his life, so Dariel stopped the serpent to save Gashita. But his sword was broken instantly, so he used the sting aura to throw in that broken sword to kill that serpent from inside. Then Gashita was bitten by the venom, so Dariel gave him that anti-venom and used some nearby herb to detoxify his wound. Seeing this, Kushida took his lesson that Dariel learned this from his harp gathering job that saved his life, but from then on Kushida turns into a new leaf and becomes one annoying little brother. So life got easy for Dariel, and on the other side, Demon General Zebians was beaten up by the heroes party when she was out on an exploration. So she dumped the blame on their assistant, so Bash fired him. This was the 5th assistant they fired, and now Doroi reminded them how competent Dariel was, that they never ran into trouble in a battle. But even if they want Dariel back, he will reject them in their face, as he got a nice and loving life in the Lux village. Then on another day, Dariel took a gathering job with Kushida and completed it, but when he returned home, Dariel got a pretty good, but dangerous welcome from Malika. It gave him some injuries here and there, but after that Dariel wanted to know the reason about village being so isolated, so he asked Gilmaz. Gilmaz told him about the mithril mine that humans once had, but then in war, mine got seized by Demon Kingdom, and because of it people stopped coming to this village as it's also near the border. And that's why this village was slowly dying out. Hearing this, Dariel wanted to help them out, so he got to the mithril mine himself. This mine was once his workplace when he was in the demon army. So he wanted to get some mithril ore if he could from his old colleague, but he saw that the security was weakened up as he sneaked inside using a box. Something wasn't sitting right with him, so gets into the mine and meets dummy humans known as knockers. They were delighted to meet Dariel after so long, and they told him about the situation they got in after he left. The Demon King had ordered them to supply 4 times more ore than usual, which was nearly impossible to mine, but there the demon army commander gets there to get more of the ore supply. So one of the knocker wasn't able to endure and lost it. He attacked and rang the morning bells in that commander, and for that he orders his soldiers to kill all of the knockers, but their Dariel showed up to save them. But the mask he had on was the underwear of a random knockers, but it was essential to hide his identity, so there he goes. He tried to get through those soldiers with reminding them of warriors' pride to never attack non-combatants. Soldiers didn't want to launch an attack on knockers, but that commander ordered them to proceed, so the soldiers had to obey. Seeing no way out of it, Dariel attacked them and knocked them out one by one and made his way to the commander. After getting beaten up, that commander admits that he's not a part of demon army. He just randomly met Bash Barza on a party and he impressed him, so Bash Barza gave him this job. He begged Dariel to spare him, so he gave him a lifetime reminder to never try to flex his power unjustly. Then he runs out in fear, and so did his soldiers. Now that the mine had been freed from Demon Army's hands, Dariel gave this news to Gilmaz and he couldn't believe it. Dariel sincerely asked to help out those knockers as well, so Gilmaz agreed and sent out a letter to Center Guild. After that, village flourished again as many travelers started coming into the town. So after this, Zebians got to Bash Barza's study room and saw this giant crystal. So he told her that it's a weapon that uses mithril to compress magic and release it with twice the force that could cause one big explosion, so he had ordered an increase of mithril supply. But newsflash got him that his mithril mine had been taken over by humans, and for this incompetence someone filed a complaint against him. At first he wanted to kick that person out of Demon Army. But what will he do now, because the person who filed the complaint was Demon King himself. Demon King was pissed off because he had warned Bash Barza to stop his dream of creating that weapon, but he just didn't listen. So Demon King puts his hands on Bash Barza's pride and made him apologize. He told him to learn at least something from Dariel, who was excellent at managing everything. And yet he had already kicked him out, but he didn't say this to Demon King, but Demon King already knew Bash Barza had kicked Dariel out. As for Dariel, he had made the Lux village entirely new. And Malika was indirectly proposing him to become father of their future children. But he couldn't understand, so Malika was about to propose to him, but a fight caught Dariel's attention and Malika was left out. Their Gashita had picked up a fight from an adventurer of neighboring village as he was insulting adventurer of Lux village. So Dariel stood up to remind him that he failed on getting that giant serpent, which Dariel had to deal with. Hearing this, others remember the news that a single adventurer took out the giant serpent, so they started treating Dariel like a hero, which this old man Fit didn't like that much. Then at the guild, when Gashita told them about this, Malika wanted to kill the old man who insulted her future husband, and there she embarrassingly spills the bean that she wants Dariel and Gilmaz had already accepted their relationship anyway. Moving on, Best Fred was sent by Center Guild to administer mithril mine, but knockers were not cooperating with his request. So Dariel got to them, and just by looking at him, knockers agreed to Best Fred's request, which definitely shocked him. Then an announcement happened from Demon King's side for knockers that Demon King will take them in again, so Dariel gets to them and Rizet gets on his guard and ordered his soldiers to withdraw. But hearing Dariel's voice, he took down his guard. Rizet is one of Dariel's old friends from Demon Army, and he told him about the ruckus that's happening in Demon King's army after Dariel left. Now whole army and nobles are falling apart as Bashbarza had failed to keep them together. Rizet wanted Dariel to come back, and not just him. One of the demon general, Doroy, kept looking for him this entire time as well. But Dariel told him that he's a human so he can't go back. Even so, Rizet wanted to take him by force, but he wasn't the old weak Dariel. So Dariel wanted to resolve this mine issues, so he took Rizet and introduced him to Best Fred. Dariel gave an idea of selling the mithril ore at 4 times the market price to Demon to stop a war from breaking out over a mine, which was a pretty good idea. But Fit didn't like it since he still holds the hatred towards Demon. He tried to kill Rizet, so Best Fred reminded him that he's just a bodyguard, so he doesn't have anything to do with this conversation. Then Best Fred agreed to the terms, and now Dariel is about to become a bridge between humans and demons' relationship. But our video come to an end for today, but don't forget to subscribe to get notified instantly on its next part. But don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it.